honest with you, I can't believe Trump didn't win this thing like 4 months ago. You know? I know that's weird for younger people to hear, but like when I was a kid, if you were running for president and you got shot and you didn't die, that was the end of the election. How about the real estate agent that speaks through her nose? Oh, there's a point. This is so difficult. It's like they overlap. I just can't make up my mind. There was nothing you could say, right? Everybody would just be like, this guy's the man. He is the king. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I think the number one reason like Trump survived is all those herky-jerky movements that
Ever seen a grumpy Trumpy get roasted like a Thanksgiving turkey? Well, folks, Bill Burr just cranked up the heat and served Trump extra crispy on live TV hour. Favorite orange turd couldn't handle the spice and threw a full-on toddler tantrum. It's like watching a real-life comedy special. But the joke's on Trump. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor if you appreciate this content. Please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. So, Bill Burr decided to turn up the heat on our favorite orange turd, and boy did he deliver. Picture this: a live TV show, a no-holds-barred comedian, and a thin-skinned ex-president. It's like mixing Mentos and Coke, but way funnier. Burr, known for his take no prisoners style, walked onto that stage like he owned it. The audience was on edge, probably wondering if they'd witness a comedy massacre or a mega meltdown. Turns out they got both.
Liberals are so stupid the way that they handle Trump.
What do you mean?
You should shut up. And then that was it. He was on the casino circuit, and then you idiot liberals wrote him twist again when you indicted him. And now he's a martyr. He's a narcissist. Neutral energy.
Yeah. You think he'd go away?
You know what I think he was? I think he was a one-hit wonder. Right? He wrote the twist. It's going to be great for comedy. He's coming back.
The stupid election is finally over. Took forever. Like, you know? Yeah. Everybody knew who they were voting for 4 years ago. And then they just drag you through a year and a half of this.
This year, you're not going to get a visit from Santa, but you are going to get a visit from the Secret Service.
Our man Bill started off with a zinger that had everyone rolling. He took one look at Trump's infamous hair and said it looked like a dead squirrel glued to a balloon. Can you imagine? Trump's hair has been compared to everything from cotton candy to a neglected pet, but Burr really nailed it this time. But Burr was just warming up. He went straight for Trump's ego, hitting him where it hurts: his supposed business skills. He's so bad at deals he could bankrupt a money printing machine. Burr equipped. Ouch, that's got to sting for a guy who's always bragging about being a very stable genius in business. The comedian wasn't done yet. He dug deeper, poking fun at Trump's notorious insecurity. Trump's so insecure he probably asks the mirror who's the fairest of them all. Burr joked, I mean, can you picture it? Trump standing in front of a mirror in his golden tower, fishing for compliments from his own reflection. It's both hilarious and scarily possible, but the real kicker, the joke that made Trump lose his cool, was still to come. Burr, with perfect timing, called Trump a toddler with nuclear codes and suggested he needs a timeout, not the Oval Office. The audience went wild. It was like watching a comedy nuke go off, and Trump's ego was ground zero. You got to hand it to Burr. He took on the big bad Trump armed with nothing but his razor-sharp wit. It's like David versus Goliath. If David was a foul-mouthed Bostonian and Goliath was an orange balloon animal with a bad attitude.
I don't want to hear it. I don't watch politics, so we're going to keep it light. All right? Here we go. All right. Well, I just got over the flu, which is fantastic. You know what I mean? You know, just going through this Rolodex of people that coughed on you, sniffled near you, walked by an Asian or something. You try to fight it. You like, they say on the internet, that's where all the disease comes from. The whole flight, I'm sitting there looking at his dirty Jesus feet. And all I'm thinking is the next pandemic is growing in the bottom of his feet. And all I'm going to be is the next, patient number 2, whatever the next disease.
And how did our grumpy Trumpy handle this roast? Well, let's just say he didn't exactly turn the other cheek. Trump, being Trump, couldn't let this slide. He probably felt like a turkey on Thanksgiving, except instead of being stuffed with bread, he was stuffed with Burr's insults. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The guy who made "you're fired" his catchphrase, who's known for his Twitter high raids and below-the-bell insults, suddenly can't take a joke. It's like watching a schoolyard bully cry because someone finally stood up to him. But here's the thing, Burr didn't just roast Trump for laughs. He used humor to speak truth to power. He took this larger-than-life figure, this political giant with an ego the size of his failed casinos, and cut him down to size with nothing but words. It's a reminder that sometimes laughter is the best weapon against pomposity and power. Burr showed us that with a few well-placed jabs, even the mightiest can be brought low, and in doing so, he gave voice to what many have been thinking but were afraid to say. You know, folks, they say laughter is the best medicine, but for our favorite orange turd, it's more like poison. And boy, did Bill Burr just serve up a lethal dose. Now you might think Trump's used to getting roasted. I mean, the guy's been the butt of jocks since he first slapped his name on a building. But here's the thing, most of those jokes bounce off him like ping pong balls off a brick wall. So what made Burr's comedy so different? Why did it hit Trump harder than a well-done steak with ketchup? Well, picture this: Trump probably lounging in his golden tower, watching TV. Instead of reading those pesky briefings, he catches wind of Burr's roast, and his tiny fingers start twitching. Will he ignore it like a mature adult? How good one? Nope. Our man Baby and Chief is about to show us his diapers full. Trump reaches for his phone, ready to unleash a tweet storm that would make a hurricane jealous. And boy, does he deliver. First tweet: failing comedian Bill Burr thinks he's funny, sad, couldn't sell out a phone booth. Oh, Donnie, you're really showing your age. Their phone booth. What's next? Complaining about the price of penny candy. But wait, it gets better. The tweets get angrier and more incoherent. Bill, who never heard of him, probably lives in his mom's basement. Really, Trump, you've never heard of him, but you know enough to insult him. That's like saying you've never tasted a hamburger, but you hate McDonald's. As Trump's meltdown continues, he goes on a 3-hour Twitter rampage. He misspells comedian 4 different ways and accidentally insults 3 world leaders. It's like watching a toddler have a tantrum in a china shop, except this toddler has nuclear codes. But here's the kicker: Trump's reaction to comedy might be the key to understanding his whole presidency. Think about it, the guy can't take a joke. He's more fragile than a snowflake in a heat wave, and that's exactly why Burr's roast hit him so hard. See, most comedians go for the low-hanging fruit. They make fun of Trump's hair, his spray tan, his tiny hands. But Burr, he went for the jugular. He called Trump out on his insecurity, his incompetence, his childishness, and he did it with a grin and a wink that said, we all know it's true, don't we? That's the secret weapon, folks, a dash of truth mixed with laughter. It's like kryptonite to Trump's Superman complex, because deep down beneath all that bluster and bravado, Trump knows Burr's right, and that's what really gets under his skin. But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think Trump hates all comedians, but the truth is he secretly admires their power. Did you know he once hosted SNL? Yeah, that happened. It's like finding out Darth Vader used to do stand-up comedy. Trump's love-hate relationship with jokes might just be his biggest weakness. He wants to be in on the joke, but he can't stand being the punchline. It's like he's allergic to self-deprecation. Can you imagine Trump ever laughing at himself? It's easier to picture him sharing his tax returns. So what does all this mean? Well, it shows us that sometimes the most powerful weapon against a bully isn't a bigger stick. It's a well-timed joke. Burr proved that with nothing but words you can deflate even the biggest ego. It's like watching David take down Goliath with a whoopee cushion instead of a slingshot. And let's be real, folks, in a world where politicians seem to get away with murder, sometimes literally, it's refreshing to see someone like Burr hold their feet to the fire. He's like the class clown who's not afraid to call out the teacher for playing favorites well. Folks, FKS looks like Bill Burr just gave us all a masterclass in how to deflate an oversized ego. Who knew all it took was a few well-placed jokes to make the most powerful man throw a tantrum like a toddler who dropped his ice cream. But here's the real kicker: Burr didn't just make us laugh. He showed us that sometimes the best way to fight back against big, scary politicians is with a good old-fashioned roast. It's like political kryptonite, and Trump's reaction proves it works better than any fancy debate or boring press conference. So next time you're feeling down about the state of politics, just remember, even a regular Joe with a microphone can make the orange turd lose his cool. It's almost enough to make you feel sorry for Trump, almost. And hey, if you thought this was fun, just wait till you see what we've got coming up next. We're talking about how Trump went absolutely nuts when Jon Stewart destroyed his entire reputation over debate lies. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. It's like watching a train wreck If the train was orange and had really bad hair, so keep laughing, folks. It might just be our secret weapon against all the craziness in politics. After all, if we can't beat them with facts, we might as well beat them with punchlines. And who knows, maybe one day we'll look back on all this and laugh or cry, probably both.
Hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around the end, drop a blue heart in this comment. And until next time, I will see you soon.